What's up, heathens? How ya doing? Tonight we are going to be going over how Donald Trump is controlled by demons. Yes, the other side has a hold of him, and it's devils that have a hold of him, and it is the devils that he is doing all of this stuff for in order to please them. So, we're going to be getting into that here soon. We also have Today I Learned, as well as Out of Context Comic and Shitty Ass Science. Perseverance is going to stop in, lay some science on us. So, if you guys are interested in all that kind of bullshit, then please stay tuned. If you guys don't remember, we've responded to this particular person before. This particular person has said that there's some kind of connection to the other side. Like, we covered her in regards to like demons and your energy or something like that. You're connected to your spiritual self or something like that. I don't know. I really should have put the earlier response videos like in the description, which actually, as I'm thinking about it, I didn't actually put the original video in the description of this, but I will promise that I'll fix that after. Of course, if you really wanted to know way beforehand, you could have just become part of the Skeptic Mafia, hitting that join link or going to joinskepticmafia.com, but I'm not here to push that shit. So she has an Office Depot writing pad for a drawing material, and she's going to draw us diagrams, as you can tell on the thumbnail, that will show us how Donald Trump is connected to the other side and how he's being controlled by demons, or he's doing things for the benefit of demons, something like that. We had another super chat from James Kuhn. Thank you so much, James, for giving us Kuhn. Sorry. Okay, I'm bad with names. I'm really sorry about that, James. Anyways, let's do this.
So this is a follow-up video to a couple of videos that I made previously. One is called God's Strategy for Removing Donald Trump from Office, and the other one is called Donald Trump and the Fire Hose of Truth.
Why does that sound like a Harry Potter novel? Did you hear what she said, honey? No. Hold on, let me replay it, because...
So this is a follow-up video to a couple of videos that I made previously. One is called God's Strategy for Removing Donald Trump from Office, and the other one is called Donald Trump and the Fire Hose of Truth.
I feel like Donald Trump's part of like some kind of Harry Potter fan fiction. Donald Trump and the Fire Hose of Truth. Oh yeah, Drew, can you use some of your new spells on this on Trump and his Fire Hose of Truth? Okay, anyways, crazy lady, continue.
And I will include links to both of those videos in the description box below this one, in case you would like to check them out.
No, I do not want to check out your box, but I guess I'll take a look. No, nothing, honey, nothing.
With recent events happening in the news, I wanted to talk to you guys about how the divine still has the fire hose of truth aimed at Donald Trump's face.
I can't, especially paired with Fletch's comment in the live chat right now. He says that sounds like a Harry Potter porn movie. Like, the fire hose of truth is still steadily aimed at Donald Trump's face. It's like, oh god, what kind of porn would this be? Let's see what. I can only imagine that Donald Trump is sitting there in his Oval Office, and then some guy walks in, and it's like, hey, I saw you looking at my package during the threat briefing. Do you want to see my fire hose of truth? Oh, is she?
So we are still being shown who Donald Trump is. And all of these truths and skeletons that are coming out of his closet and things that are being revealed to us, we should pay very close attention to, because the divine is basically showing us who Donald Trump is.
Who Donald Trump is. Now, I'm no fan of Donald Trump, obviously. I don't I don't see any reason why anybody should support Donald Trump at this point. I mean, the Republicans are really showing themselves right now because the conservatives that we have now really aren't all that conservative unless you want to consider like just being conservative about whatever values or whatever kind of policies that they want. Like they're conservative in that way, as in I don't want anybody else's opinion, but in other like more traditional conservative ways, they're not really conservative. So these Republicans now are being very disingenuous with how they're handling things. That's not to say that the Democrats are any better or anything like that, but I mean, I would just hope that they would actually want to protect our democracy, but apparently they don't or something. I'm not sure. But anyways, let's see who, huh? Last time her Sharpie was uncomfortably large, but you know what they say, honey? You know what they say?
What did they say?
Anything's a dildo if you're brave enough.
So I wanted to talk about Donald Trump in particular and his very, very strong connection to the other side. He is very well connected to the other side, okay? He has a very strong connection to the other side. But the problem is, the other side consists of two types of energies. One energy consists of the angels, the higher vibrational beings, right? Who want our highest good and their truth, love, and light.
Okay, so let's break this down as she's going on. So basically, Donald Trump is emanating some kind of frequency or something from his hair, and it's his wireless connection to this other side, where apparently squids or octopi, which they've only got 6 legs, it seems like, or maybe it's 7, I'm not sure, but some kind of like cephalopod is up there with a ring around its head that is the good vibrational being. Got it. Marky Mark.
And the other side are demonic entities that basically want pain, suffering, anger, hate, ego, money, power, greed, etc. Okay? And we'll give him some flames, and then we'll give him a pitchfork. Why not? Now, when...
So the one side are these angelic cephalopod type creatures that are higher vibrational beings in this other side. And then the other side is just bearded cephalopods with horns that have pitchforks.
If you look at Donald Trump's soul and who he is as a person, which energy do you think he is aligned with more?
I don't... You know, nothing about Trump really exudes the idea that he's emanating any kind of energy whatsoever. I mean, the most that I could probably say is a very ego-driven energy, I guess. Like if you had to draw his ego around Donald Trump's head, it would like consume the entire... You couldn't draw the ego that fucking Trump has. Oh, look, we got Bear Noonamaker, who became a mafioso. Welcome to the fold there, Bear Noonamaker. Everybody give Bear some well dicks.
The truth and the light, or lies, deceit, separation, fear-mongering, ego, money, power, etc. Well, him as a human being, he's aligned with this, the dark.
He's aligned with the dark, obviously. So basically everything that she has subjectively deemed to be these bad moral characteristics, which I wouldn't necessarily, say that she's wrong about those being bad things, but see, she hasn't actually proven that Donald Trump is these things yet. I mean, obviously, we can tell that Donald Trump is, very dubious and everything like that, but I feel like it would help her video out if she actually could prove, like, cite some things that he's done that exhibit these particular things. Of course, none of this actually means that he has a wireless connection to the cephalopod devil overlords.
So because Donald Trump has a really strong connection to the other side, when he is being influenced, his thoughts, feelings, emotions, decisions, when they're being influenced by an energy, where do you think that's coming from?
Well, apparently he's being influenced by the dark energies, honey. So every time he does something shitty, it's the dark influence. It's not. Wouldn't that mean that it's not really him, though? Like, she's talking about looking into Donald Trump's soul. Even if I believed souls existed, Donald Trump doesn't have a soul. But trying to peer into the dark crevasse that is Donald Trump's soul. And what you come up with is some kind of fucked up capacitor drawing in a schematic. Because that's what that looks like. It looks like she dropped out of some kind of like circuitry class and like she's trying to draw from memory what she thinks a capacitor is or something. I don't really know, but it just looks like a fucked up schematic is what she's drawing here. But obviously he's grown a third leg and is now communicating with the dark cephalopod overlords.
Demonic entities, the dark. Donald Trump is a puppet for the dark. Because he has such a strong connection to the other side, it's very easy for the dark to...
You know how you can tell that he is a puppet for the dark? Well, the cephalopod up there, the one that has the beard, the glorious beard and the horns, he takes one of his 6 arms that apparently he has, and he shoves it up Donald Trump's ass, and he makes him talk. Therefore, it's not really Donald Trump's fault, because the cephalopod overlord's making him talk.
To influence him. And they do. And that's why when you watch the news, I want you to pay very, very close attention to the free will decisions that Donald Trump makes. Because they are extremely strategic, and they are coming straight from demons.
You know, I can halfway understand somebody that is, like, really deep into the religious thing, thinking that Donald Trump is being controlled by Satan. I mean, honestly, did anybody ever really think that it was a good idea to pull out of Syria like that? I mean, I don't think we pulled out of Syria, right? Yeah, okay. I'm just making sure I got the country right. Like nobody, like even Republicans was like, that's kind of a dipshit thing to do. So, I mean, I can understand how somebody that is this deep into the religious ideology, that they're this indoctrinated by it, would come to the conclusion that, oh, he's being controlled by demons. Because he's making very dipshitty decisions.
Let's deny that global warming even exists. Where did that come from?
Okay. So here's the issue that I have with this kind of crazy thinking, because she points to the devil cephalopod, and she says that is where like climate change denial is coming from, when in actuality climate change denial is coming from the misinformation that's being spread by certain scientific figures out there that are pushing a narrative that is contradictory to all of the evidence that we've been able to gather. So, like, it's this scientific misunderstanding of the climate that is causing climate change denial. It's dogmatism that is causing people to dogmatically stick to that narrative. And ignoring those things will never solve the problem. Just blaming it on Satan is not an actual solution or an explanation to anything.
Let's gut the Environmental Protection Agency. Where did that come from? Let's separate families at the borders. Where did that come from?
Oh, are you agreeing that Satan is causing Trump to do these things? No. Yeah, so Casey is saying that she can't believe that I'm causing her to agree with Crazy Woman. And the fact is that unless you think that Satan is causing these bad things to happen, then you're not really agreeing with her. Yeah, it is very shocking that she can recognize that these are bad things, which, I mean, maybe she's a liberal. I mean, I don't know, but maybe she is. In either case, though, unless you agree that Satan is causing these things, then you're not in total agreement with her. I get that she can identify these things as being bad, but I mean, I think blaming them on Satan is just, well, it's crazy and it's disingenuous, and that's the ultimate harm that it can do. And yeah.
Let's pull U.S. troops out of Syria and cause a humanitarian crisis. Let's reach out to Ukraine for dirt on Biden's son. Let's destroy our relationship with our allies and lose their trust. So when Donald Trump is making all these free will decisions, what do you think these guys are doing? Yeah! Woo! That's our boy! Thanks, Tony! You're totally hooking us up! Oh my gosh, this is so much fun.
Well, okay, so if Satan was an actual cephalopod that was evil, then I don't know if he would dance or just sort of kind of like writhe or something like that. But in any case, like I don't know. I feel like there are better routes that he could go down than having Donnie like do it for him, because I mean obviously the Antichrist is going to I talked about the Antichrist earlier, but I mean anything that you can denote as being bad, you can blame on Satan having his influence on the individual, or them doing it to benefit Satan. Yes, and therefore never taking blame. Thank you, honey. But I mean, I feel like blaming it on Satan, or evil spirits, or an evil Wi-Fi connection to the other side, I think is not actually going to help the situation.
Look at all the havoc we can wreak on the United States. Look at all the chaos we can cause. This is awesome! Thank you!
I believe that was the cephalopod overlord coming at that point.
You're our boy! We love you! All of his free will decisions are coming from evil.
Yeah, can you imagine it? And right at that point, it's like, we love you! And like, he sprays the black ink everywhere, and he disappears into nothingness.
Sure, there's some nice ones thrown in there, like, Alice Johnson's clemency. Good for her. Good for Kim Kardashian for helping her. Where did that come from? Did that come from his heart and him genuinely wanting to help, or did it come from his ego? It's like, well, I'll be a hero if I do this.
Okay, see, this is even more disingenuous, because like, if you're going to paint every good action that he does, or every action that that he does that you agree with, as being, oh, he's doing it maliciously, I mean, it really just seems like you're ad hoc, wanting to, you're ad hoc making up excuses why he's doing certain things so that you don't have to like any certain action. You can't know like his reason for doing anything. Well, I mean, for Donald Trump, he's pretty transparent. He's a dipshit. But what I'm saying is that you can't just make up these ad hoc assertions and cherry pick which ones you think are bad, and then all of the good actions were done for bad reasons or something like that. It just makes you look disingenuous.
Maybe that decision came from his ego. Ego's also from the dark.
I mean, I'll be the first to say that Donald Trump has an ego so big that he could probably light a really dark room with it, but I don't think it's from Satan.
He's being influenced by the dark because he's their puppet, and he has a very, very strong connection to the other side.
Remember, the puppet is the cephalopod arm right up, and he's making him talk, doing the different thingies.
So, what is Donald Trump doing? Oh, he's channeling! Donald Trump is channeling.
How is he channeling? I sincerely doubt his presidential time that he takes between whenever he wakes up at 3 a.m. and takes a shit on his golden toilet and tweets stuff to like 12 when he actually starts to work as president. I doubt that he's spending any kind of time in there doing any kind of channeling of the dark cephalopod overlords.
He's a channel for the other side. The evil part of it. Guess who some other channels are? James Randi is a channel for the other side. He speaks for the dark. Very, very strategic. Pulls people towards the dark.
James Randi. If you guys don't know, James Randi has a prize that you can win if you can prove anything supernatural and it withstands scrutiny. Like, you can win $1 million. But so Donald Trump and James Randi, both controlled by the satanic cephalopod.
Pulls people towards atheism, away from the truth and the light, towards the dark and falsities, because he's totally wrong. God does exist.
Well, wait, I feel like we have to clarify something here. Do you mean that the cephalopod God exists, or is it like the Christian God? The way that you draw these figures, it kind of seems like it's a cephalopod up there. I mean, do you believe in Cthulhu? Is that who you worship and praise? Because I got to tell you, Cthulhu's fully on the satanic cephalopod side.
Hitler was a channeler. I think Hitler was like sitting with a group of friends and he heard a voice say, move away, like move away from where you're sitting. So he got up and walked away, and then like a bomb blew up all of his friends where he was sitting.
Why don't I just pull some shit out my ass right now and produce a fake ass story about how Hitler got satanic psychic messages, how he needs to get the fuck away from his friends before they blow the fuck up. He gets away from them and they blow the fuck up. You know what? I could also make up some shit about how Jesus was actually put here by Satan to fool all of you motherfuckers into worshiping him. And he really was the Antichrist because his mom was a whore, fucked a Roman soldier, had a baby, blamed it on God, and then Bob's your uncle. Fucking, we've been in the end time since then. That's what it's been about. Everything's been getting worse, so therefore Jesus is the actual Antichrist. I mean, that sounds like a better plan than the satanic cephalopod choosing Donald Trump to be his puppet. It's a better love story than Twilight. Yes, it is, honey.
Yeah, Hitler was a channel for the dark. So I do have a video that I made previously called Donald Trump versus Hitler, where I compare the two of them.
Donald Trump versus Hitler. Who will win? Both have tiny dicks and little minds.
But yeah, so that's one of the reasons why I made that video called The White House Has a Paranormal Problem, because the White House does have a paranormal problem. It's still...
Now, hold on. I heard that Paula White, she casted all them ghosties out. Like, back, I don't know, several times. I mean, it's been a few times now she's had to cast them fucking demons and ghosties out of there. So, you know, he's got Paula White there to play Ghostbuster. Yep, she goes in there and she's like, "Begone, demons!" And they get out of there because they're fucking scared of her. Have you seen her lately? She's scary as fuck. Oh, apparently she laid hands on Trump. Now, I'm not going to speculate where she laid her hands at, but I heard through the grapevine it was mushroom-shaped.
Still does. Donald Trump is being influenced by negative entities. So, yeah, that's a paranormal problem. You've basically got someone being controlled by demons, making evil decisions that, you know, they hope to ultimately result in our demise.
Can you imagine Trump sitting there at the Oval Office and he's about to sign one of his bullshit executive orders because he can't get shit passed through Congress and stuff? Like, can you imagine him sitting there and everybody's like, "Sir, what is that evil-looking cephalopod doing on your shoulder?" And he's just like, "You see nothing?" And he signs it and he fucks the American people over. Shut your whore mouth, Karen!
So how is the divine fighting back? Well, he's taking the fire hose of truth and spraying it at Donald Trump so the American people can see, you know, him.
The fire hose of truth is spraying Donald Trump. Can you imagine, like, Ron Jeremy busting in there with his fucking 12-foot dick being like, "Look at the fire hose of truth!" We got a couple of super chats. Drew's book review says, "Doesn't take much to be a better love story than Twilight." Uhan Roderick said, "And Drew knows his books. He should do videos." Yeah, Drew's book reviews does book review videos. Very great. He did one on the Mormons recently, and he's got a great library of books that he's read, and he's doing a whole lot more too. So, anyways,
for who he is and what he's doing, and the divine thinks the impeachment inquiry is fine, but if we want to, we can also just take Donald Trump by the hand and guide him out of the Oval Office and say, sorry, you're not really president and your power is an illusion because you're the result of a fraudulent election, which means you yourself are a fraud.
Jesus fucking Christ. Like, I can imagine her walking into the walking into the Oval Office and, like, saying that to Donald Trump as she leads him out, and Donald Trump's like, I only heard the first word, which was my name.
Because our election broke universal law. You can't give the American people a choice of dark versus dark. Hillary was the dark, Donald Trump was the dark. You can't give, it's not representative of human free will. You can't give the American people a choice of dark versus dark. You have to have a light in there somewhere.
Who is the light exactly in this particular? Like, who's crazy enough that you would consider to be the angel cephalopod puppet? No. She sounds racist. Honey, I could see how she might sound racist. I mean, I'm sure. Yeah, we can't have any kind of dark ones in there. We gotta have some light ones in there. Fair skinned motherfuckers that won't fuck us over and stuff.
So Bernie Sanders got scooted aside because the primaries were rigged against him. So the light was removed from the last election. So you broke universal law. The divine's giving it a thumbs down. Also,
I like how breaking the universal law is just as simple as people voting. Like, regardless of whether or not they voted fully knowing, like, what would happen or whatever, still, people voted for the person they wanted. And Hillary won the popular vote while Trump won the Electoral College, which that's really the only one that matters. But the fact is that people voted. That's who we ended up with. I don't see how that's breaking the natural law or order or anything like that. Like, there's nothing natural about society in general. Well, I guess societies in general formulating and everything like that's natural, but like the voting that we do, I don't really consider to be natural. Like, I don't know.
Russian interference via the media, that was a fraudulent election right there as well. So yeah, Donald Trump's not really president. His power is an illusion. So that's why the divine just wants him to be escorted out of the Oval Office. It's like...
No, wait, hold on. Huh? Yeah, I'm wondering if you channeled the divine and they wirelessly communicated that with you. Like, did the angelic cephalopods tell you that Trump's not really president? I mean, he's really president. I mean, there's no getting around that. Like, I get that you don't want him to be president, but he is president.
Sorry, this election is a do-over. We need to have another one. And the divine's been saying that for a long time, that the 2016 election was a total sham. So the divine doesn't consider him president. He doesn't consider him number 45.
And you know this because you channeled the divine cephalopod? I mean, I don't... This is so fucking crazy. I don't even know what to say in response to how crazy this is.
Bernie Sanders actually needs to leave the Democratic Party and lead the People's Party and ultimately our revolution, where he gets people up off the couch and fighting back. And that's where the light is. The light is the people. And the divine is behind the people, standing up and rising up and taking over, because the light is stronger than the dark.
I'm sorry, but please, nobody take her seriously on this. Do not rise up against the U.S. government. That would just be terrible for everybody involved. Regardless of whether or not you think Bernie Sanders needs to leave the Democratic Party or how bad he got fucked over in that election, I do think that was one of the bigger mistakes that happened in 2016 was Bernie getting knocked out, not because people wanted him knocked out, but because the Democratic Party or whatnot wanted him knocked out. I think that was a pretty big mistake, obviously. But, I mean, to say that Trump isn't really the elected president because he's not the president you wanted is just disingenuous.
So, just so you know, but Bernie Sanders can't be a part of the establishment by being a member of the Democratic Party and go up against the establishment. if you're part of the establishment, how are you going against it? You need to separate out and lead the People's Party in our revolution and give everyone a clean light to follow in order to do that. So the divine is pointing out the dynamics energetically of what's going on with Donald Trump's soul and how he really is, working for demonic entities. So the light is really the people making the free will decision to stand up and fight for what's right and essentially take back power and control of the country.
I mean, if she's talking about people getting up and voting and voting for who you want in office, regardless of who that is, I definitely think people need to get out, vote for who you want in office. But I mean, if that doesn't go your way, that doesn't mean that they're satanically controlled and they're not really the president. I mean, I hate the fact that Trump is president too. I get it. But at the same time, you can't just sit there and outright deny it and blame it on Satan.
Because his power is an illusion and his presidency is an illusion. He's not really president. It's like fake news, fake president.
Casey just laughed in a very condescending way. Well, I mean, I laughed about it, and people are going to want to know what you said. So, I mean, I don't. Like, on the one hand, I don't think that Donald Trump is a good president whatsoever, but that doesn't mean that he's not president. He's obviously president. This woman is so disillusioned with the idea that whoever she voted for or whoever she wanted to be in office is the real president. Like, I don't know, this just feels like disillusionment.
So I think that's why I wanted to shine a flashlight on the dynamics of what's happening and what's been going on. Kim Jong-un is also still a nuclear threat. He doesn't like his sanctions, and he is also working on a submarine. So, shooting,
Oh, fuck, not a submarine. Honey, they got the submarines? They're developing the submarines. We don't got no submarines. Do we have submarines? I don't know. These other fucks, I don't know if she said North Korea or China, either one of them developing submarines, and we're going to get fucked by these submarines. We don't have that kind of technology. Not one bit.
Nuclear bomb at the United States is, obviously not out of, question for him. It's not out of the picture for him. He's still a threat to the United States. So,
I mean, I think that Donald Trump is a threat to us in the way of, like, his bad policies that he's wanting to push through, his bad decisions and everything like that. I don't think that he's going to nuclear attack the United States. Like, that just seems like really crazy fucking bullshit right there.
So we also have to be, very careful there. But that's why the divine wanted you guys to pay close attention to when you watch the news. It's like, what actions is he taking? What free will decisions is he making? Because it's coming straight from demons.
Well, okay, I don't understand how it can be a free will decision if it's coming straight from demons. That seems to be... Well, I mean, that seems to be a very contradictory thing, because if it's coming from demons, then he's not using free will. If he's using free will and it just so happens to make the demons happy, then the demons really aren't controlling Donald Trump. Donald Trump's just a shitty person. He's not channeling anybody or anything like that. So, I mean, honestly, I feel like Donald Trump is a shitty person, but, I mean, regardless of that, your whole idea here is contradictory, like internally contradictory. Mm-hmm.
Looks like
Casey said that this free screen looks like a mugshot. Like, I wonder how I got here. And it all started off with a YouTube video claiming that Donald Trump was possessed by a satanic squid. It started with a YouTube video and a giant Sharpie, and I'm not going to tell you where the Sharpie went. Casey suggests that it went up her ass.
And you can learn a great deal about the dark just by keeping a close eye on Donald Trump right now and really kind of learning about the battle of light versus dark and how the universe works.
Well, I don't know. If all the light has to work with are those little halo rings that are around their heads, and the The satanic cephalopod over there has a pitchfork that it can use. I mean, I think that they're gonna fuck up the little cephalopods with the rings. What are they gonna do? Throw the rings out? It would be like those pool toys, you know, where they're rings and you throw them out there. You find them. You go underwater and you find them, and it's supposed to be fun and everything like that. Imagine cephalopods in heaven throwing rings at the satanic devil cephalopods, and they're just standing there with their pitchforks, like, what the fuck is this shit? The fuck? And then he kills just a whole line of them.
So that's why I encourage you guys to get up off the couch and speak your truth and be seen and be heard and shine your light.
Okay, shine your light does not mean go around flashing people. Okay, do not do that. I don't know what she means by shine your light, but maybe get a flashlight and do it. But I do agree with the message of getting out there, standing up, using your voice, and voting. It's very important to vote, regardless of how you're going to vote. I don't care if you vote Republican. I don't care if you vote Independent, Democrat, whatever kind of weird libertarian person's going to be up this year, next year. Whoever you vote for, just get out and vote. Like, that's the most important thing, is to vote.
Shine your light. Fight for what's right. Because this guy, yeah, puppet for the dark. And in the meantime, take care and be well. Thank you.
You're welcome, crazy ass woman. All right, so as we have here on the screen right now, right behind me, right here, this is how heaven is made up. On the one side, you have the cephalopod saints, and then on the other side, you have the satanic, the devil cephalopods. They have pitchforks. The other place has the little pool ring game things. And the satanic devil cephalopods are controlling assholes like Trump in order to fuck our country over and eventually drop atomic bombs everywhere. Now, I'm not saying this because I know it. I'm just saying that I'm channeling the dark side of the force in order to get this kind of message. Also, anybody out there that doesn't believe in God or anything like that, they're definitely channeling the satanic cephalopods, okay? So, you just, as soon as you recognize something that is evil, that you don't like, you don't agree with, number one, satanic cephalopod, controlling it, but they're using their free will in order to be controlled. And then if it's somebody that you just merely disagree with, but they do things that you agree with, they're obviously just doing it to fool you so that you don't know that they're channeling the cephalopod, Satan, the pitchfork carrying squids, and they're just trying to trick you. So it's just a whole bunch of trickery and everything like that. Also, be scared of Donald Trump's hair. That is his mechanism for communicating with the other side. It's his hair. That's the wireless receiver. Oh, man. So, anyways, that's the video for tonight. Obviously, pretty fucking crazy. I think the biggest thing to take away from the video, though, is for everybody to get out, vote when it's time to vote. Just in general. And even if you're not in the United States and Trump isn't your arch nemesis, get out and vote. Whether you're in Britain or anywhere else that has, voting rights and everything like that. Get out there and vote. That's the biggest thing. That's what you can do. Don't shine your light on anybody, because most likely that light is your penis or other genitals. Don't shine those things at people unless they ask you to. Anyways, that's going to be it for the video tonight. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. If you will, leave me a comment down below or in the live chat right now with what you think about this crazy bitch. And, hit that like button, smash the like button, smash that subscribe button, join the Skeptic Mafia if you want to. We're about to go into the Skeptic Mafia comments, but if you're not staying around for that, then I hope that you guys will stand up and use your voice. Bye, heathens.